when you think about the reason why you're tired and it makes you smile, it makes you happy, you're doing something right in your life. That's just all I'm gonna say, because I feel. Hey friends, you're welcome back to another episode on the In the Meantime podcast. It's your girl Courage on here, and I am super excited for this particular episode of today. So if it is your first time hopping on here, this podcast is called In the Meantime podcast. And I know that the name sounds a little bit like, off the rails, but the podcast mainly revolves around the idea that right here and right now, life is beautiful. So while you're waiting for the things that you're waiting for, and we're waiting for Jesus to come back, and we're waiting for eternity, we can actually enjoy our lives here in whatever season we're in and in whatever we're doing. Life is beautiful right here, right now. So I am really excited because today I'm doing a solo episode. I haven't done one of this in a really long time, especially on camera. So I'm excited to get into the nitty gritty of everything. And I just thought to myself, what better way for us to, do summer right than talking about a topic that maybe could really apply to our lives, because when summer rolls around, we all slow down a little bit. We all run indoors, especially if maybe you're like us who live in the Middle East. You run inside. It's really hot outside, so the outdoor activities, they really reduce. Some people get into depression because it's just so hot to do anything, and sometimes our routine kind of change, which is just what life is all about. Like, life is in seasons and it's in times. Like, creation changes, where we have winter, we have summer, we have spring, we have autumn. You are also part of creation, so you're gonna have seasons where things are really up and seasons where things are really down. So I shared a concept that I'm gonna share with you guys today in one of our live events that we had, I think maybe 1.5 years ago. It was a Galentine event, and I just really poured my heart out to sharing this thing about like seasons and times, because I realized that as human beings, we really struggle with the concept of like, today I'm up and tomorrow I'm down. And if there's one thing that I came to terms with the other day, which I was just sharing with someone, and I was like, if there's one thing that I know about life, is like, life is just full of you losing your spark and finding it back. Like, your life is literally gonna be full of seasons where you have it, you know what you're doing, you're on your game, and there's another season where you don't know what you're doing, you don't have anything figured out, and maybe you follow your routine. And I'm someone who really likes a routine, and I love putting together habits. I love sticking to my habits. So when I fall off my habits, like, it really does haunt me a little bit, and actually I feel bad about it, and I try to pick it up again slowly. So I think especially a big part of my 20s was just full of me trying to really understand and embrace the fact that life is in seasons and it's in times. And just to give you guys a little bit of context about maybe my life in general, and why I will be sharing with you guys these 4 pillars of life. That's how I call them, 4 pillars of life. They've been around for a while. It's not actually new. It's just something that we've all learned, and then we try to apply it to our lives. Because when I come on here and I tell you that, oh, I wake up at 5 a.m., I'm not telling you to wake up at 5 a.m. I'm just telling you that this is what I do. So the thing is, when someone shares something with you that they do, it's for you to either be inspired by it and be like, okay, what can I learn from this, and how can I apply it in my own life to make it fit for me? Because we all live different lives. We all have different priorities. What works for A might not work for B. So when you learn something from someone that is really maybe mind-blowing and you really like it, it's for you to think about, how can I apply it to my life in a way that I'm not going to burn out, or I'm not going to get lost, or I'm not going to lose my way, all of those things. So just to give you guys a context of my life then, is I work a full-time job. So literally I'm in the office from Monday to Friday. And when I say I work a full-time job, is I currently run 2 podcasts for 2 organizations. And when I say I run them, it means I come up with the ideas, I train people to do podcasts, I do campaigns, I do marketing, I do idea generation, I do the filming, the sets, and all the things. Like, it takes a lot of work for you to run 2 podcasts for an organization or for organizations. And I have a 9 to 5, and after my 9 to 5, I have another 5 to 9. That's how I call it. So I have another 5 to 9 where I come back to do either my own stuff, and sometimes I record for those organizations in the evening. And so it's that maybe just how my week looks, but there's so much more to that. And then in the weekends, maybe I'll be hosting or doing a gig or recording this podcast. So in a nutshell, I record 3 podcasts. And on a Sunday, because I like to also live a life that is not just full of what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to build. I'm someone that I love and I serve the Lord, and I just really believe in Jesus Christ. So I love to do what he says we should do, which is love him and serve his people. So I also serve in my church on Sunday. Sometimes I do the same thing that I do here. I host there. I help out with services. I sing sometimes. I help out with Bible studies. I mentor women. And the mentoring is usually during the week. So that's like hours and hours of sitting with someone and reading the Bible with them and going with them through life. So it's kind of a lot. So sometimes my life is overwhelming, and I'm also a human being. So I have to make efforts with my friendships or build my relationships, or I have responsibilities. I also have a family that I have to nurture, and I have to also look forward to and build my own life in the future. So it's kind of sometimes a little bit too full and a little bit too overwhelming. But if there's one thing that I usually like to remind myself and say, because sometimes when someone listens to all the things that I do, but they're like, you could just like not do them. But I'm just like, then what's the use? What's the use? Sometimes I really think about it like, for me personally, when I'm tired from the things that I do, because it's just a lot sometimes and I'm doing a lot of things, I am just like, I try to ask myself, am I happy? Like, the reason why I'm tired, does it make me happy? When I think about that, then I'm like, okay, I can do this and I can keep doing this because I'm happy. The things that I do, I'm grateful that I get to do them. I'm grateful for the opportunities that God has given me, for the places that he puts me in, for the family that I have, the friends that I have. So I'm just like, I'm happy. These people make me happy. And recently I also just got a niece. A baby girl. That's what I'm trying to say. Recently, my sister just gave birth to a kid, and my sleep is gone. Like, I'm just like done. But then every single time I think of the baby, I'm just like, I don't mind not being able to sleep for a week. I'm like, I want to be with this baby right now. So when you think about the reason why you're tired and it makes you smile, it makes you happy, you're doing something right in your life. That's just all I'm gonna say, because I feel like right now in our generation, we try to just like interpret everything, diagnose everything, or you're trying to be too performative, you're trying to be that. I think in our quest to try to understand our humanness, we've taken away our human experiences, where sometimes that's just life. You getting tired is life. There doesn't have to be some trauma attached to it. You doing something is just life. There doesn't have to be some narcissistic whatever that we're using these days to describe everything that we're using to describe. So long story short is, I do all of that. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm one of those people that if I don't have a schedule, if I don't have things, outlined for me, I will forget. Like literally, I will forget and I will not get to do the things that I need to do. So I love to have like my calendar outlined at the beginning of the month. Every first day of the month, I sit down and I plan my entire month. So it just makes it easy for me to know what I'm doing, where I'm going to. Yes, things happen spontaneously sometimes because I'm human. Do I get it right all the time? No. And it's just a mixture of all of those things, but I need to have a plan and I need to know what I'm doing. But then I will also have seasons where I will be on the game. I will know what I'm doing all the time. I'll have everything planned and everything is going well. And then there are seasons where things slow down for me. I'll have those bad and good days where I really don't want to do anything, days where I want to do some things, I have the energy to do a lot of things. And also just bearing in mind that I'm a woman, so I have all these cycles that are into place. I have a week where I'm like very high on my creative energies and I know what to do with it. And I can plan, I can do the things, I can do like 50 things at the same time. And then there's another week where everything slows down and I have to adjust a little bit because my cycle and my hormones are also, they also have a very big part to play in my life. So just adjusting to all of that and adjusting to the fact that I have to keep showing up in my life, because if I don't, it's my life. If I don't show up for it, who's going to show up for it? So I went through a season where I decided I was going to invest in trying to have some grounding habits in my life. And that's when I stumbled upon the whole 4 pillars. So I call them the 4 pillars of life because I just feel like they're the foundation of our lives. I broke them down into emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental health. So I know that we hear a lot about mind, body, spirit. This is just mind, body, spirit, but then like really, really broken down into like its full extent. So I look at them like they're in jars. And I'm just like, every single day I want to be able to put something into my emotional jar, my spiritual jar, my physical jar, and also my mental jar. So I just try to make sure that every single day I do something, in all these areas of life. Do I do it all the time, every single day? No. But there are some times that I get to do it all the time, every single day. And why I started with talking about seasons is because when you get to a point where you fully accept that you have seasons in your life, seasons meaning that, because if we want to talk about balance, I don't really think you striving to have balance in everything in your life is the best thing for you to do if you really want to enjoy your life, because there's no such thing as balance. There will be seasons in your life where your career requires more from you than your friendships, or maybe than some other projects that you're doing. There are other seasons in your life where you have to focus on your friendships and your career might take the back seat, or you focus on your family and something else takes the back seat. Like right now in my life, I feel like my family, my sister and my niece, they are like the most important thing for me. Like everything else in my life has taken a backseat. Everything else, I just want to be there. And maybe a season will come where something else will come in front of that. And, that's just what life is. And until you get to a place where you fully embrace that and understand it, and stop trying to have everything figured out all the time, you're going to have so much freedom and so much ease and peace with life. And I feel like that's why in many ways, when I just feel like a season is changing, something is shifting, I'm just like, okay, I just welcome it. And I'm just like, okay, what do I need to do now? And how do I try to manage to be okay in this new season that I'm getting into? Because it's new. It's unfamiliar to me. I need time to be able to adjust to it. And that's why I have those 4 jars in front of me. So one thing that I decided to do was every single day, no matter how I'm feeling, no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to do one thing from either of these areas of life. Because when I can do one of those things, I can literally maybe even feel like I am myself in many ways than one. So I'm just going to break them down for you, just for us to be on the same page and understand a little bit more. So when I talk about these 4 jars of or 4 pillars of life, that the emotional, the spiritual, the physical, and the mental, the emotional being you trying to understand your emotions, maybe anger, peace, joy, sadness, and all these things, and you fully embracing them. Because especially maybe for people who are religious, sometimes you're told not to feel your feelings. The thing is, you have to feel your feelings, but you don't act on it. Because it's the same way, like, I can get angry. I'm a human being. I will get angry. But the thing is, what do I do with that anger? How do I navigate it? Do I act on it, or do I take a back seat and be like, why am I angry, and get to the source of it? So it's like you get into a place where you fully take out time to understand your emotions, to know what they are, know their names, know how to name them, and just fully understanding that you were created by a God who grieved, who was happy, who was proud. God has emotions and he can feel all the things. That's why sometimes he's sad, sometimes he's happy. When we say we are trying to live a life that is pleasing to God, you can't please someone who doesn't know how to feel. So knowing that a God who created you has emotions gives you a lot of peace, to just know that, okay, I have emotions. I'm allowed to feel. I'm allowed to be tired, to be sad, to have all these things going on for me. But then what I do about it is what really matters. So like just taking out time to know what your emotions are and what you're doing with them. And then the next one, which is spiritual, is just like you taking out time to really know your creator. Like for me, I'm a Christian, so that would really involve me getting to read my Bible every single day, getting to have prayer sessions with God, being in Christian communities with other Christian and believers where we can talk about certain kind of things and the things that we're wrestling with, the questions that we have. We can enjoy a lot of things and life and milestones together, and it's just very encouraging to my faith. So that's the spiritual aspect of things. And then we have the physical aspect of things, where it's you making sure that you're moving your body every single day and trying to eat nutritious meals every single day as much as you can. Sometimes it's going to work out, sometimes it doesn't really work out, but as much as you can, have something nutritious, like something healthy, maybe a little bit sugar-free, some fruits here and there, some protein here and there, and then move your body however that looks like to you. And that could be, maybe for me, I enjoyed walking, I enjoy hiking, I enjoy a lot of outdoor stuff because I'm a kind of girl that I love to get some sunlight in. When I have some sunlight in, literally I feel like a plant who is like growing and just like very free, because actually we are creations. Just imagine how much a plant can grow in sunlight. So what about you? So I realize that's the thing with me. I love some sunlight. I love getting out into nature and the mountains and the waters and all the things. So I try to do those activities. And how do you know the activities that you like? It's for you to try a lot of things. Try the Pilates, go to the gym, try the basketball, whatever it is that you can try it out, and then you find out what you like, and then you start practicing that, or you start doing that. That's your physical activity. And the last one on the the wheel or on the pillar is mental. So the mental jar is like you really taking out time to understand yourself. And that would maybe involve you doing stuff like journaling. I'm trying to understand how your brain works. Why do I think like this? What is attached to this thought pattern? How am I really seeing life? What are my views? What are my perspectives? How do I feel like I'm perceived? How do I perceive others? And just like trying to really understand how your brain works. So before you were very quick to call yourself ADHD and, label all these things to yourself, I'd really advise you maybe to take out time to really study some of these things, because when you finally study them, you might actually reduce the amount of things that you call yourself, with all these mental and therapeutic terms running around these days. So those are the 4 pillars of life. So like I just mentioned, I've called a lot of activities in each and every one of those categories. So now it's for you to sit down and be like, okay, what can I take away from all this 4 areas of like what is one thing that I can do each day for each one of these things that will actually be investing in the life that I want to have and the life that I want to build. Because the thing that I believe is, if you can, understand these 4 facets of life and try to apply them in your life, it will help you to live a whole life, a full life, a life that you will sit back and be like, I'm really happy with the life that I'm building, a life that you will feel at home in it. Because in many ways, when you get to know yourself and you're journaling and you're soul searching and you're talking and you're being connected to God, it helps you to know your priorities in a way that you're not just chasing everything. Not every success is success. Not everything that pulls you here and there is the thing that is for you. You will be so aligned with God and with yourself in such a way that you trust yourself so much, you trust God so much, and nothing can actually derail you or move you or confuse you or distract you, because we really live in a time where everything is calling for our attention, every single thing. But when you've taken out time to fully know yourself, there's an extent to which things don't really just pull your attention here and there, and it will be very hard for things to distract you. So it's for you to sit down and be like, okay, in all these 4 areas of my life, every single day you can look at it as jars in front of you. Every single day, what can I put in one of these jars? What can I put in? Like for me, when I go through seasons where I've lost my spark, because like I said, life is full of you losing your spark and finding your spark back. Life is full of seasons and times where one season looks a certain way, another season looks a certain way. I literally I've just figured out times of the year where things are really working out for me. So there are months where you're going to see me putting in twice the effort that I usually put. And then there are months where when you see me disappear, just know that this is my time. Because I really do believe in rhythms of life. I believe in a work and a rest rhythm. And I feel like that's why I've been able to do a lot of the things that I do and not burn out for a very, very long time now, because I believe in work and rest. And I believe in resting while working. So I feel like that has been so sustainable for me, and just really taking time to know when is it time to lock in? Is it time to lock out? Is it time for me to, maybe do this a little bit slower, because I'm a very high functioning person. So it's just for you to now sit down and look at these 4 areas and be like, okay, when I lose my spark, or when I feel stuck, or when I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, or things are just really difficult for me to understand right now, what do I do? So every single day for me, I call them grounding habits. So even when I don't feel like it, I will do one of either of these things. So the first one for me is like journaling, and usually sometimes I couple it with, spending time with God and reading my Bible. So, and then I write about it, or I write about my day, or I write about what I want to see, or I just write about the future and all of those kind of things. So journaling is a really big one for me. Prayer is a really big one for me, and that usually happens in the morning. And then the second one that I usually do is the physical aspect, where I move my body in one way or the other. So for me, I really love walking, especially in the city that I'm in right now. So I would maybe go for a walk in the morning or a walk in the evening. But throughout the summer, that has been very, very difficult for me to do. So I decided to just like do something else. So I started lifting a little bit of weights at home and not really pressure myself to move my body as much, because I was just like, okay, this is another season. It's really hot outside. Whenever I go outside and I come back, I feel so drained mentally and physically, and I cannot do anything else, but I still need to go to work anyways. So basically that's the whole point. So I try to move my body a little bit. So now for me, now that it's summer, it looks like lifting weights. And when winter rolls around, I cannot wait to start going for my walks again and just like doing some hikes. And I try to eat something nutritious. So I'm I'm someone who really struggles with PMOS. Like if you're a woman, you get what I mean. There's this insulin resistance, there's this hormonal imbalance. So for me, whatever I eat shows up in my body in one way or the other. It shows up in my face, in my voice, in every, like I will be so affected by it. So I really try my best to eat as healthy as possible because it really does help me to be healthy enough to do the things that I need to do. Because half of the things that I do, like from Monday to Friday, I'm usually memorizing a lot of things. I hate using a script, so I love to memorize every single thing that I say, whether I'm recording, doing a voiceover, doing hosting, whatever it is, emceeing. I just love to really memorize. And for me to have a sharp memory, I need to be eating properly. I need to be sleeping well. All these things need to be working together for my good. So that is the physical aspect of everything. And then let me say for my emotions, like for me, I'm a very, very big crier. Let me put it like that. And I'm a woman also. My hormones has a lot of things to do with that. But I'm someone that I don't really hold things in. Like I just let it out in one way or the other. And I found that that has been really, really therapeutic for me. And just like letting people in, talking to a friend, talking to a family member, talking to my mom, and just like really talking about the things that I'm going through, that has been really, really helpful. And the last one on the list, which is usually like, I feel like this one is the most important one, close to journaling, is sleep. When you don't sleep, a lot of things don't go well in your life. Like whether you like it or not, this is the reality of life. So I try my best, my possible best, to make sure that I'm sleeping properly. And, you know, so sleeping, journaling and praying and doing things, and then moving my body and eating nutritious food as much as possible. So even when I am in a season where I feel stuck, even when I'm in a season where I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, even when I'm in a season where I feel like I've lost my spark, I'm trying to figure out things, seasons are changing for me, because seasons will change for you. Like there's a time where you're going to lose a job, maybe you find a new job, or you're changing cities, changing countries, getting married, having babies, losing friends, gaining friends, changing communities and all these things. There's so many things that will change in your life, and when they change, you need time to adjust. If there's one thing that I've learned, is that you need to take time to adjust to every single season that comes your way. Take time to adjust. Don't just run. Don't just try to have it all figured out every single time that something new is happening to you, something is changing. You're like, oh, I have to have this all figured out. I have to know what to do. That's you trying to be an orphan. Live like someone who doesn't have a God, someone who doesn't have direction. Like let God lead you. Let go and let God in those seasons, and take your time with it. I know we're humans and we're always trying to figure everything out, but if there's one thing that I can share with anyone, especially if you're in your 20s, because I'm also in my 20s, and I feel like I lived a big chunk of my 20s just like being an adult and forgetting that I'm in my 20s. And I think like I even shared this on the Instagram, where someone in my life who was like, she's way in her 40s, I think 42 or 43 now. She literally heard me, like I was explaining a lot of things to her, and then she was like, you do know that you are in your 20s, right? She said it so sarcastically. She was like, have you forgotten you're in your 20s? You don't need to know what to do. You don't need to be taking care of this many people as much as you're doing. Like, this is a lot. Even I cannot do this. And she had to we said a lot of things, and she had to remind me that you don't even need to know what your career looks like. And it just really, really blessed me. And then she also reminded me of some many things that are working out well for me. And I think this is something that for me, I've been trying to be more grateful for. And I think it's something that we can all really practice. It's for you to really sit down and be like, a lot of things are working out well for me. I feel like I'm living in one of the best days of my life. I have so many really healthy friendships, really healthy community. I turned my hobby into a job, like just being present in the life of my family members, and just like being able to have a lot of side gigs, like a lot of side gigs. I know I'm overwhelmed and tired by them, but there are quite a lot. And I just think this is something that maybe you can also practice. If maybe you're going through a season where you're trying to figure things out, seasons are changing for you, and you're just trying to take it one step at a time, I'd really encourage you to try to practice, investing in these 4 areas of life every single day. Find out what works for you, try a lot of things and find out what works for you. So every single day you can put one thing into each jar that makes you feel like yourself. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're going to have it all figured out, in one day. That's why I said baby steps, and also try to give yourself grace, as much grace as possible. So when you feel stuck, these are some things that you can try out. These are some things that you can invest in, because if you can be able to have this, going well for you, you're going to be able to live a well-rounded and a whole life, and it will get you to a place where you're more grateful for the things that are around you. Like, even if you feel stuck, even if you feel like you don't know what you're doing, something is working out well for you, something is going well for you. So you're going to look more at that thing and be grateful for it, and then slowly try to keep building the life that, God has called you to build. But if you can practice these things, it will help you to, live a more calm life, because I think that's one thing that I've really embodied in the last couple of years since I started really practicing some of these things, especially when times and seasons are changing for me. I'm a little bit more calmer when things arise, when situations, things just happen that I didn't expect it to. And I just really move towards it with ease and grace, and then just let it go and give it to God, and do my best to just keep showing up every single day in the spaces and in the things that I need to show up for. So I hope that maybe you've gotten something from this episode, but I just wanted to kickstart us with sharing with you guys these 4 pillars of life, because I think they're so important. If you can just maybe do more study on it and just try to find out how you can apply it to your life, I think you're going to find it so helpful. But we're going to close this episode here. And I'm looking forward to having more conversations with more guests, just to keep talking about more things that we can keep doing to help us live more grounded and whole life. So in the meantime, I hope you stay kind, you stay graceful to yourself and to others. God bless you, friends. See you next time. Bye.